self-esteem, self-control, some good self words, definitely some good self words, self-esteem and self-control. I think they kind of both like kind of play into each other, self-esteem and self-control. Any other guesses this evening for words that start with the letter S? I hope everybody has an okay time finding the stream tonight, because StreamYard did something weird tonight, and it was like it had it scheduled for some weird day that I didn't even schedule it for. And then I rescheduled it, and then there was like 2 videos out there, and it was weird. It was crazy. It was weird. Social, self-care. These are excellent words. Love the guesses. Love the guesses. Love the guesses. So we're going to come back to the guesses. But first, I wanted to talk about a different word. And I wanted to talk about the skills. What do you think are the skills that are necessary to lose weight? What are the skills that are necessary in order to lose weight? Let's list them in the chat. Skills. Skills are mildly underrated whenever it comes to weight loss. Whenever, in my past attempts to lose weight, it was really just talked about, this is the foods you should eat and blah, blah, blah. And not really so much about the skills that are involved. They talked about maybe like reading nutrition labels and how to count calories and things like that in my past attempt, but they didn't talk about so many of the other skills that I think that are important when it comes to weight loss and even weight maintenance. There are a lot of skills that are, really important. And some of them I kind of take for granted now that I have kind of worked on them and developed, this, proficiency in these skills over the years. So another number one skill is just awareness around food. How much you're eating, how often you're eating, when you're eating, why you're eating. Just a general awareness. If we are, stress eating, emotional eating, if we're eating because we're hungry, if we're eating because we're angry, if we're not eating because of any of the reasons why we would not eat. Sometimes, that's a thing that people do. So awareness around our eating, awareness around, what's driving our decisions. So today, I don't know if you were kept up way past your bedtime and didn't get enough sleep last night. You might be feeling extra hungry today or low energy, and that low energy kind of gets transferred into hunger signals because your body's craving energy, and it kind of sends you this false signal for food where it's not necessarily just food that you need. You actually just need more sleep. You're feeling fatigued. So learning to know the difference between when you're actually hungry and whenever you're getting false signs of hunger is an important skill to have. So an awareness around, what we're eating. For some people, a skill around weight loss might be cooking. Cooking might be something that you really didn't do. Maybe you were a convenience food person and you got all your food, prepackaged foods, or you just got a lot of takeout. Maybe you were eating out all the time. So cooking might be a skill that can really benefit you. And the more that you bulk up your cooking skills, the easier it becomes, the more fun it becomes. The more you know how to cook, the more fun it is. It's easier to do, all the things. So cooking is definitely a skill. Hello, Derek. Hello to Sharia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here tonight. We are talking about skills, and everybody is invited to type in any skills that they think of that they need to have or are useful in order to lose weight. So I talked about cooking and I talked about awareness around food. Oh, so another skill that I think is very, very helpful whenever it comes to weight loss is just eating slowly, eating mindfully. So many times, this is my confession time. I will get so hungry that as soon as I get my food, I'm so excited to get my food. I just dig in and I'm just eating, eating, eating. And I don't slow down and I don't savor my food and I don't enjoy my food. And it's gone in 5 minutes and I think, what happened to my food? And I didn't even enjoy it. So eating slowly, eating mindfully is a skill. I noticed that whenever I don't always eat slowly, whenever I rush through my meals, that is often the times whenever I have cravings later in the day because I didn't have that full experience of my food. So I want that experience. I feel like I missed out on something. So I can see how the skill of eating slowly is really important. Tracking is a skill. Definitely is a skill. Just to remember to do it, to put it all in there, to all of it is a skill. Learning from the past and starting fresh. Okay, so that's another skill, is to be resilient. Learning how to be resilient is a skill. We are going to fall down on our weight loss journey. There's going to be a day. The best people out there will have a day where they're totally not doing anything according to the way that they think they should. And they're going to go off track. And sometimes we let that get in our heads. And then we think, oh, what's the point? I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you get off to a rough start and you think, oh, I'll get back to it next week. I'll get back to, on and on the cycle goes. But being resilient and learning how to pick ourselves back up quickly is a skill. It's going to happen. We're going to fall off track. But learning how to pick ourselves back up as fast as we can is a skill to have. Embracing that imperfection. What can I learn from it? What can I do about it? What's next? Embracing that imperfection. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. There is no perfection. So embrace it. Let it teach you how to be resilient. And it really comes down to what Michelle said earlier. I think she was the one that said it. She was talking about, self-esteem and self-care. And it comes down to that, self-talk that we have. That self-talk that we have. So that is definitely a skill. Another skill that we need to kind of work on and perfect is our time management. How many times has time management been your enemy? Time management. I always think things take way less time than they actually do. I don't know what it is about it. I just cannot seem to manage my time effectively. Everything takes way longer. So time management is important because it helps me with all of the other things in order to get my exercise in, make sure I'm getting my sleep in, do my normal job, cook my meals, shop for my meals, all the things that go into it. I need to have time management, especially when you're building new skills and habits. So as you're building these new skills and habits, they're harder. They take longer to do. So generally, because they're not something that you do on autopilot, they're the first things to go whenever you have a time management issue. Or even meals. Say you plan to have, one healthy meal, but time got away from you. Now you don't have time. So what's the easy option? Is it always the best option for you on that particular day? Normally not. Normally whatever you planned was going to be, the best option for you for that day. It definitely does. Time management helps me fit everything in a day. So getting good with time management, but this is a skill. It's a skill. And I always go back to the whole riding a bicycle. The first time you ever rode a bicycle, if you know how to ride a bike, you did not just jump on it and ride that bicycle down the street. You maybe needed training wheels. You had to practice a few times. You might have fall down a few times until you developed that skill. You had to practice a whole bunch to get good at it. So we always got to be thinking, well, we're just practicing. We're getting good at it. And someday we're going to be really, really good at this. I need to manage my time better. I definitely need to manage my time better so much. Oh, whenever I get to be a pro at my time management, that will be the day. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Oh, another thing that is a skill is to be an observer of our thoughts. So changing from, I can't to I will. Changing our thoughts from there's just no way to I'm gonna find a way. There's all kinds of thoughts. And I didn't write down a good long list of these. And I'm tired today because of the fireworks. So my brain's not working. I'm not going to be able to come up with things on the top. Ooh, I wish I could get better delegation too. Not going to be able to come up with things on the top of my head as well as I could on other days because I'm tired. I knew I was going to be tired today. I planned for being tired today. That's a skill, is planning. Planning for things, especially, and that's what we're going to go back to, awareness. When we fall down, we learn a lesson from it. And then we transfer that into the next time. So I have learned from many times of being tired that I have to have, I know a lot of times when. I don't always know when I'm going to be tired, and I make a plan for it. I make sure that I have foods that are going to be super duper easy to prepare. Maybe even just take out of the fridge and eat type foods because I'm going to be too tired and I don't want to think about it. But if I have something that's ready for me, then that's great. I will tell you that at lunchtime, I was thinking pizza. I was thinking it would be really good to have a pizza today. Like that's no work. There's no dishes, no fuss, no nothing because I was just that tired. But I had a lovely prepared salad in my fridge to eat. I had it all there because I've learned from my past mistakes. So, skills. What other skills do we need to have? What other skills do we have? I mean, this list is really just so basic, and it's just a way for us to sit back and think about what skills can I kind of work on? What skills haven't I really given enough consideration to? Yep, made sure to get water and enough food to just reheat. It helped. That's how I feel on karate nights. It's like just knowing what these patterns are and coming up with solutions. That's a skill. Finding the patterns and coming up with solutions is another skill. And it's all just something that we're working on. All of it. It's all just a bunch of skills. And the funny thing about skills, I was thinking about it, was that some of them in the beginning, they're really, really hard, and we have to practice them, and we have to practice them a lot. And they're actions that we're trying to learn, we're trying to do, and then it evolves into something that we get good at. And then it evolves even further into a habit, just something that we do routinely, like planning for days whenever we know that we're going to be really, really busy. Taking a week, I take a day once a week to make sure I look at my schedule for the week so I can go through it and plan for any hiccups that might come down the road. What's gonna be going on? How can I plan for that? Just making a plan. Ooh, me either. Me either. Can't imagine having to manage other people's schedules. I can barely manage my own. So then our other skills that we need to have are our coping skills. I know for a lot of people out there, we tend to cope with our emotions of anger, sadness, loneliness, tired, hurt, anxious. The list goes on and on. I know a lot of people want to cope with their emotions, their feelings by eating. So working on those coping skills and finding different mechanisms to cope so that we're just not always running to food. I know that it can be a useful strategy to run to food. We can find replacements, snacks that are like low calorie and fit better into our diets. But what if that wasn't even a way that we coped it, so that it wasn't even a thing that we needed to think about? The thing with going to those low calorie, healthier, I don't know, however you want to define it, snacks, is that if that's how you always cope, what happens whenever those snacks, those healthier alternatives, what happens when those aren't around and you don't know how to cope without having your snack? Are you going to go to the higher calorie snack, the snack that doesn't fit into your diet plan so much? If you're going to a snack, say, take for instance, watermelon, and you're using watermelon as your tool to deal with an emotion. And what you want to feel by eating that watermelon is full. Somehow that feeling of fullness within your stomach gives you comfort. If you always use that as that tool and then you don't have any watermelon, what are you going to go to? What are you going to eat? So we need to find other coping skills. So going for a walk, journaling, reading, coloring, taking a bath, taking a shower, picking up a new skill or hobby. Maybe you need to learn guitar or piano. Maybe there's a video game that you can play. Maybe, some meditation, some yoga, some breathing exercises. There are millions of ways that we can learn to cope with our emotions that aren't eating. It's just what we've learned, what we've practiced. It's just become a habit that we have, but it doesn't have to be a habit that we have. So think about it the next time that you're eating. Think about, am I trying to numb an emotion, a feeling? And is there a different way that I can get past that? Is there a way that I can experience this emotion without eating? So skills are huge, 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 huge. And one of those skills is going to be to deal with setbacks. That is a skill, dealing with setbacks. I cannot tell you, well, yeah, I've had a whole bunch of setbacks. I've had a whole bunch of setbacks. And sometimes a setback can cause a greater setback, an even greater setback, and it can just snowball out of control. But dealing with those setbacks and being resilient. So you might be asking, how do you do that? And the easiest thing for me to say is, oh man, I fell off my bike. Let's just get back on. I'm working on those skills. And it's no big deal. It doesn't mean anything. Once I got less caught up in the whole gotta have it now, it wasn't as hard to deal with. As long as I find that I am really, really learning from the setback that I have. And a lot of times, these setbacks, they just come from, out of left field. You think that, you've worked on, so many different issues. You've worked on your time management. You've worked on your sleep. You've worked on so many things. And then here comes, another one just comes fluttering in from out of nowhere. And you're like, wow, here we go again. They're going to happen, but it's all part of life. It's all part of life. Setbacks are just part of life. They happen. Nobody else had any S-word guesses? Oh my gosh, great. Snacking messes me up. I've outlawed all unplanned food. Same with finances. If it's not in the budget for the month, it can't wait to be planned. Misty helped me with applying that principle to food. Did you know that there is a correlation to some people who are heavy set are also bad with their finances? We're just not good at budgeting. We're just not good at budgeting. But it is so, so true that it's just like finances. It is just so much like finances that if it's not in the budget for the day, then you just can't have it. If it's not planned, I just can't do it today. And I find it so much easier whenever I think about it that way. You know what? I can plan for it I can plan for it tomorrow, but I can't have it now. It's not in the budget. So my budget, if you have a monthly budget, then it's not in the budget. And that's just how it goes. I think that is such a great way to look at it. And it makes it just like simple. It makes it, oh, well, how come I never looked at it that way? It's hilarious to me. It's so that's where planning helps a ton, is whenever you make a plan and you stick to that plan, and then it's a lot easier to stay within your budget whenever you have a plan. If you have, just like with your finances, if you have no idea how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out, what's going to happen? We got to know these things. We got to know these things. And then we got to make a plan. And if you see your expenses are getting too big, then you got to make some cutbacks. It's the same with food. Same with food. Credit up, weight moving down. It's funny how it kind of can work in conjunction. It's amazing. It's kind of crazy. So schedule. That brings me to schedule. We got to know these things. We got to know. We got to know. We got to know these things. Whenever all the things. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going. Thought in the head and out the head, like just that fast. So scheduling, because we got to know these things. Are we scheduling time to know these things? Are we Scheduling a time to make a plan. Are we scheduling time to go grocery shopping? Are we scheduling time for our self-care? Are we scheduling time for our exercise? Are we scheduling our time? How many people have it in their calendar, actually in their calendar, to do any of those things? Does anybody type me in the comments if you have your you time making a meal plan for the week, going to the grocery store, cooking, exercise? Is it actually in the calendar? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, I don't. Just to be honest, I don't. I do not put that stuff in my calendar. But I know, see, we got one. Yay. I know when I'm going to do those things. I have my morning plan, my me time from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. I know I'm going to get my workout in. I have my Saturday morning routine. I know that's whenever I do my meal plan for the week and I do my grocery shopping. And if I know something's going to come up on Saturday, I reschedule it for Sunday. And it's a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. So in my head, it's scheduled, even though I don't physically have it in my calendar. It's scheduled. It's gonna happen. Now, again, this is a skill. It takes time before that becomes a habit. We have to practice it. So for a while, if you're new and you don't have this as a skill, you might need to set a reminder in your phone. You might want to schedule it in because you're working on developing these skills that are going to help you down the long run. Do you set out your clothes so that you make sure you got your workout clothes? Do you prepare your lunch for the next day at the night before so that you can just grab it? You know that it's ready to go. By doing this, prep work ahead of time, we're just going to be more prepared, ready to go. But they're all skills. And if you don't do it, that's okay. But realize it's just a skill. And takes me to another skill that is, I think, one of the most, just right there with being resilient is patience. Patience is a huge skill. Be patient with yourself. Some people are fast learners and they get the hang of things way faster than other people. Be patient with yourself as you develop and learn these new things. You're going to maybe forget a few times. You're going to maybe make excuses until you learn how to deal with your excuses, which is also another skill, by the way, learning how to deal with your excuses. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your body. It's not always going to lose weight at the rate that you would like it to. Be patient with your body. Don't start hating on it because it's not doing things you want fast enough. Because if you start, again, with that negative self-talk, that can grow into bigger negative self-talk, and then you're just feeling blah, and you don't want to do anything. So we don't want to go there. I schedule everything by half hour every day. Gotta get better prioritization. Whew. There's such a difference in being busy and productive. Do you have any lessons? I feel like I'm so busy, but I'm also productive, but things take longer than I think I want them to. That's the only problem I have is that things take longer than I want them to. So scheduling. Love to have a schedule. So another I'm going to say this is another skill. All the S words, everything's a skill today. Everything. Speak up, stand up. Speak up, stand up. This is so important, and it's one of those skills that I am working on developing. It is not something that I am perfect at yet, but I'm working on it. But speaking up for our needs, our wants, our priorities. What priorities do you have in your life that maybe other people aren't respecting? Have we let those priorities be known, first of all? Because if nobody knows your priorities, how can they respect them at all? But if they're not respecting them and they know about those priorities, we need to say something about that too. But we can't expect everyone to be able to read our minds. If we're not vocal about what it is that we need, what it is that we want, then how is that going to get met? So we need to be able to speak up and stand up for ourselves. I know a lot of people have, whenever they start a weight loss journey, they have family members, and they're accustomed to eating a certain way. It's not to say that they can't continue to eat that way. What you eat doesn't have any impact on what they eat. They can eat whatever they want. But you can let them know, you can speak up for the way that you're feeling. A friend of mine was telling me a story about her husband and just how he likes to push her buttons about the food that, she's eating. And he'll just, sit there and just kind of rub it in about what he's eating or whatever. Like, ha, 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 and you can't have this. And that is so not helpful. But you have to speak up and you have to have a boundary and you have to draw the line and say, that's not cool. That's very hurtful. That's disrespectful. That's not loving and caring. But we have to be able to speak up. We have to be able to stand up for what we want. We have to. There's so many different instances. How many times have you been out with a group of people and everybody's like, where should we go for dinner? And everybody's like, I don't know. Speak up. Tell them where your desired place to go is. Get it out of the door. Get it out of the gate first thing. I'd like to go here. That way you know of a place that is in alignment with the way that you like to eat. They serve foods that are in alignment with your particular way of eating. Because some restaurants aren't as friendly as other restaurants are. Get it out. Just speak up. Say something. Maybe you have, different activities that you do with friends. Maybe you want to speak up and say, hey, you know what? I'd really like it if we could do this instead, because that's too. Why can't that word? Where did the word go? When you don't move at all? Anyway, it's a non-movement activity. So yeah, we just need to speak up and stand up for what it is that we need and what it is that we want. And that might even be just help. Maybe you need help. Maybe you're just taking on so much all the time and you feel overwhelmed. And if you could just get a little bit of help, it would make these other things easier for you. But that comes back to that, self-esteem and all of these things. So, yeah. Tia, welcome. Where did you go? I clicked on the wrong thing. with schedule talk. Yes, you are, because she's a scheduler. Miss Tia is a scheduler. All the food and drink for vacation. I'll be there eating and drinking my own stuff. Thankfully, they're used to it now, and they're like, okay, that's who Miss Tia is now, and that's cool. And we celebrate that, and we love that. But I will have DQ tacos. I love to have, like, when you go on vacation and there's like that one thing that you just like really, really look forward to, and you're like, you can pass up all the other things, but I'm going to have that one thing. And it kind of makes it like so much easier, I think, to just pass up on the other things, because you're like, I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself for those tacos. I'm going to eat those tacos and they're going to be so good. I just can't wait. We go to a place on Sundays where we can all find foods we enjoy. Natasha is trying to menu because it works for her. They already know it's different, but it's me. Your other word was success. So success. I like that. Let's talk about success. What does success look like? What does success feel like? What is success? Success. Trying the entire menu. That's funny. What does success look like? What does success feel like? What is success? Non-scale victories are all successes to me. So success is what you make it. Really, you get to define when you've been successful. So yes, if you've defined that your goal to do XYZ action this many times a week, blah, blah, and you didn't do that, then you failed. Yes, correct. But you can also define success as well. So there's lots of ways to find success. Success in developing skills of any of these natures that we've talked about tonight is a success. So those are all non-scale victories. Whenever you've noticed that you are becoming more resilient, that's a success. Whenever you notice that you are better at embracing perfection better than you were before, that is success. When you notice that you can cook more meals, you know how to, than you did before, that's a success. When you get better at portion control, success. When you see improvements in your time management and your scheduling, that's success. When you see yourself noticing negative thoughts and you're changing them, you're reframing them, you're telling them to go away, that's success. There are so many skills. So success is just getting better at all of these. And it's not just the number on the scale. The more that we improve these skills, the more that we get better at all of these things, the weight loss is going to come. Again, we just got to be patient. But it will come. But it's important to celebrate all of the non-scale victories. There's some non-scale victories that just feel so good, and you're like celebrating them. Like, it's unbelievable. Like when you notice that, space between you and the steering wheel, or that you can cross your legs, or you can, do different exercises that you were never able to do before. Some of them were like, wow, that's so cool. And yay. And so many of the successes that we have go unnoticed. They go unnoticed. Success is progress, a little more every day, stronger, healthier, happier, little by little. So I recorded a video this week, and it'll be out on Friday. And it was so funny to me because I was doing like a 6-month review. So it was the end of June, and I was like, oh, I got to do a 6-month review. How come I lived, 45 years of my life and never, ever did a personal review? I had my employment review to see, how things go in my job that I always thought was stupid, and I still do at my job anyway. But I never did a personal review, take stock in where am I? And I don't just do it according to, my weight. I do it, according to my finances. Where am I according to the milestones that I want to hit in my life? Because I feel like life is more enjoyable whenever I have milestones to hit. Also, another thing, why didn't I have more milestones that I wanted to hit earlier on in my life? Like I just wanted to turn 25 so my insurance could go down. But then after that, it was just birthdays. I was like, oh, another year. But I didn't have milestones that I wanted to reach, things that I wanted to do, a bucket list that I wanted to check things off of. But then I thought, you know what? I do have a bucket list. I do have things that I want to do. And that was actually the catalyst for wanting to lose weight anyway, was because I'm never going to get to do those things if I don't lose weight. Because some of them are like, I want to be old and do this. I want to retire and do that. I need to have more energy so I can do the darn things. So energy is definitely like, whoo, when you're eating good and you feel good, like having that energy, oh my God, you can't, the price of that is amazing. Priceless. So, but yeah, these milestones. So the letter S, that was fun for such a easy, simple word. Oh, simple. We didn't talk about simple. I don't want to talk about simple today. I think we're going to leave it with our skills and all the fun stuff that we talked about tonight. I don't think I want to go on another transition here today. So I think I am actually just going to kind of like, you're working on your mid-review for YouTube. I love it. It's crazy. It's this weight loss has turned into something so much bigger than weight loss. And all the other times whenever I lost weight in the past was to lose weight. It didn't have to do with anything else. And where I feel like this weight loss is more about improving my entire life and not just my weight. So, and I've had so much success in that. So thank you to, old self who, just wanted to lose weight, who in turn changed your life. So I might not be at my desired goal weight yet, but my life has changed, and it's changed for the better. And that is success. And I'm going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I am going to have a guest next week. I have a guest lined up for next week. So come back and see us next week at 5 o'clock Central Time. Next week, I will see you then. And I hope you guys catch my next videos. So that's it. I'll see you. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye.